Hello and welcome back to another Tackling Health lesson. My name is Holly and we'll be taking you through our second lesson today. So to start with, I would like you to grab a pen and paper and we'll just do a quick recap of what we learnt last week. So on your piece of paper, I would like you to write me a shopping list. Within that shopping list, I want you to write 5 things that you can get from each of the food groups. So for example, from carbohydrates, I would pick potatoes. An example from the protein section, I would pick chicken. From the fruits and vegetables section, I would pick apples. From the fats section, I would pick some sweets, I think, or maybe chocolate. And from the dairy section, I would pick eggs. So you can have your go now. So just one from each section and have a think about what you could get on your shopping list. Okay, so well done for completing that task. Hopefully you can remember a little bit more about what we spoke about last time. So today's session, we're going to be looking at what living things need to survive. So specifically, we're thinking about plants and humans. We know that water and nutrition are essential for both plants and humans. And we'll also look at some additional things that animals and plants need to survive. So we know that the life processes of a plant include growth, nutrition, and reproduction. So have a little think about the effect of light, air, water, and temperature on plant growth. So write down what you think needs to be included for a plant to grow successfully. If you were to plant a little plant right now, what would you do for it? So the roots of the plant work as the anchors. We know that the plants then will take in the water and nutrition from the roots, which is transported to the stem and then to the other parts of the plant. And then thinking of a human, so thinking of yourself, we need food for activity and for growth. So we know the importance of a varied and healthy diet is essential to be able to help us grow. Next, I have some questions for you. So with your pen and paper, we're going to answer these questions together. Number 1, what do all living things need to survive? So obviously we know we need good nutrition, we need water, we need adequate air, and that's also the same for plants. So what we can take from that is that food and water are essential for life. Question number 2, how are humans different from plants? So the biggest difference is activity. Humans need their nutrients, their food, for activity. Plants do also need that for activity, but more of a reproductive activity. So for example, obviously a plant cannot go out and play rugby. So we want to make sure that we are getting enough food and good nutrition to fuel our body so that we can perform our best and our bodies can function correctly. Question 3, what do plants and humans need to thrive and grow? So we already know that food and water are essential for both plants and humans, remembering the reasons why food can help with all of the processes that happen in the body, and also it helps with all the processes that happen within the plants. Question 4, what are the similarities and differences? So from what we've discussed, I'd like you to write down what you think some similarities are between humans and plants and what the differences are. Okay, so for our next activity, I want you to get a piece of A4 paper. We're going to fold it in half, and then we're going to have 2 sections of our page. So on one section, we're going to have our human, and on the other section, we're going to have our plant. So hopefully you've got something like this. You might be a little bit more artistic than I am. I've got my human and I've got my plant. So now what we're going to do is we're going to write what they need to survive, and also what they need to grow. So you're going to have maybe 5 minutes. You can spend some time, you can maybe ask your parent or a sibling, what is it that the human and the plant need to grow and survive? So now that you've done that activity, you should have something relatively similar to this. So I have got my human and my plant. So for my human and my plant, I have very, very similar answers with some things. So I have got similarities between the two, but I do also have some differences. So now I want you to get 2 different coloured pens, and I want you to circle the differences in one colour and circle the similarities in another colour. So my page now looks like this. I have the similarities in a purple colour and the differences in a brown colour. So one thing that I do want to point out is that both for the plant and the human, we need good nutrition or minerals / food, which is what I have on my sheet. I want you to now write down alongside those or on a separate piece of paper, what differences in food does a plant and a human have? So thinking that the human will need different sources of food, so a healthy, balanced diet, whereas the plant needs something that will give it nutrients to help it grow. Just like the human, the plant needs food to grow. I now have a short video for you guys to watch, so hopefully you'll learn a little bit more about what plants need to survive in this video.
As a plant, I'm really important to the environment, not just for other plants and animals, but humans as well. We come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and so that I can grow big and strong, there are a number of key things I need. Firstly, water is really important so that I can stay hydrated. Roots absorb the water for the whole of the plant. I also need light, as this helps me with a process called photosynthesis, where I convert light energy into chemical energy to help fuel all of the things I need to do to survive. Temperature is also really important. Some plants like it warm, whilst others prefer cold. The right temperature helps us to grow and in the right way. Finally, air. We are so important because we take carbon dioxide out of the air and release oxygen, something humans and animals really need. So there you have it, key things that I and other plants need to survive.
Well done guys, we've come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much for joining me and I hope you enjoyed it. So to summarise what we have learnt today, we've recognised that food and water are essential for life. And we've also recognised that food comes from either plants or animals. So I hope you enjoyed the session and I'll see you in the next one.